LA rejoice as LeBron James is getting the hell out of here. And does Mo have a halo over his head? That and a lot more in this episode of Mo and Rob's Super Ordinary Podcast. Welcome, everybody.
What's
to
up?
Mo and Rob's Super Ordinary Podcast. And before we get started, let's do the rundown. In today's episode, we're going to have a trailer react. Clayface.
Yes.
The Most Sports Desk, a brand new segment for you guys. We're going to be talking about Splatoon Raiders, Halo over Mo's head, Comic-Con, and we're continuing our Spider Month. As you know, my name's Rob, but don't forget, when there is a Rob, there's a sexy Mo. Say hi, Mo!
What's up, buddy? How y'all doing today? Let's get into this.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, it's been a hot week, Mo. It's been, like, seriously freaking hot, man.
But you're telling me. Are we talking about the weather or the news?
Man, both, actually. But before we continue any further, let's talk about trailers. And this week's trailer, we're going to be talking about one that actually surprised me, actually. And that is Clayface.
Nice.
Bro, okay. The last trailer of Clayface, I am torn because I'll tell you why, Mo. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this trailer. It looked like horror-esque, very spooky. Dude, seriously, the airplane scene, like, dude, I just couldn't see it.
Cringed a little. I cringed at that.
Oh, you did too? I thought it was only me because I have a thing with holes. And so when I'm seeing it, the eyes and I was like, oh God, no, but it was really, really good. And it got me excited. But this is where I'm torn, Mo. It's part of James Gunn DCU.
No.
Why? This would have been perfect in Matt Reeves' Batman universe, you know? I mean, we have an established Batman. The tone looked like it, right? It's like we've seen the Penguin and his little story. This would have been a nice little addition to that universe.
Absolutely.
Clayface. It would have been cool. But the fact that is James Gunn and this is a prequel? That means we're probably
to what?
To his universe. It's just like...
What are we doing here, DC? What are we doing here? This is probably going to be a good film too, and it's just going to go down the gutter in this like saga that James Gunn is trying to put together here.
Well, but here's the thing too. For those of you who are wondering, well, why is this a prequel in James Gunn's universe? It's because, believe it or not, he has done a show, part of his universe, called Creatures Commando. A lot of people didn't see it. I have. And guess what? Clayface is in it. He gets murdered in 2 minutes. He dies. So this is pretty much the only Clayface that we're going to see. It's such a messed up... It's just a messed up mess, honestly.
It's just that sums up DC universe films right there.
Dude, this movie has so much potential.
It looks like it's going to be a great body horror film.
Oh, absolutely.
Just in its own category.
And if you guys are a fan of great body horror, yeah, this is going to be up your alley. As long as James Gunn doesn't put his hand on it like he did with Supergirl, it should be okay. But the fact that it's part of his universe is such a big letdown. You know, it's like, can DC even catch a break?
No, absolutely not.
Oh my God. Moving on. Well, we got a special treat for you guys. This week, we are now introducing a new segment called Mo's Sports Desk. Take it away.
What's up, y'all, and welcome to Mo's Sports Take. Before we get into this week's topics, we got to talk about what just happened in the NBA today, because this morning, LeBron James officially signed with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2 years, $8 million. Veteran minimal deal with a player option for him. But before we even get into basketball, LeBron posted this on social media this morning, and I want to read it what he said, because I think it really tells you everything that you need to know about where his head is at right now. And I'm going to read from the Twitter or the X account. He said, and I'm quoting directly here, quote, "I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide, but I was pretty sure I played my last game." End quote. Let that land for a second, y'all. The great player that LeBron James is of this generation generally thought he was over. He was done in LA. He was already contemplating retirement. He was ready to walk away. I, for one, am pretty surprised about this. I didn't get the impression that LeBron's career was going to come to an end at any point in this Lakers season. That thought never crossed my mind. So I don't know if this is a little theater play by LeBron here. But if it is,
LeBron James doing theater? No, not him.
He might have learned a thing or two from Tinseltown, so I wouldn't be surprised here. But if it was, that's pretty significant. And then he continued on to say, and quote, "This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice, still want to work, still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at that feeling of winning another championship." And then he closed it with, quote, "I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team. And I'm so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time." That's what he said, quote. Rob, you wanted to say something about that?
Actually, I do. So here's the thing. This man, LeBron James, the young generation wants to call him the GOAT. If you've been a while in, especially in basketball, he's not the GOAT. His focus on is just trying to win championships, and he's a failure in that. He's never gonna be compared to Michael. He's not even gonna be compared to Kobe. And I'll tell you why. Michael, Kobe, Bird, anyone back in the day, they never switched teams as much as LeBron did. In fact, some of them never did. If they had to go against another tough player, guess what? They had to work harder. They grind, LeBron. They did their best to do better, LeBron. They didn't try to make a super team to win championship, LeBron. And this is, to me, I feel this is him just trying to win a championship with another super team. That's just my opinion. But dude, this guy is not the GOAT. He's a joke. He changed the game. He changed the NBA for the worse. I just
Started the super team trend. And as Jordan would never.
Has he?
No. He came back to the Bulls and won 3 more. So
Exactly.
You might have a point there. But to counter that, I mean, critics can also say that he blazed his own trail. He didn't want to follow the conventional way of winning championships. He wanted to do it in his way, in his fashion. And if that's what you care about, more power to you, you know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He wanted to win it his way by taking the easiest route. He didn't sacrifice as much as he did with Kobe. Kobe was out there even after every practice, after every game. He continued practicing because he wanted to win. He wanted to be champ. He wanted to be the best in LA, given the team that he had. You know, I mean, we can't even say that to Larry Bird. Larry Bird was also the GOAT back then. Imagine Magic Johnson. Imagine Magic Johnson decided to go with the
Celtics.
Celtics. Thank you. Imagine he wanted to go to the Celtics because Larry Bird was too hard to cover. Come on, bro. Are you serious?
He would have done the Kevin Durant before Kevin Durant did it.
I'm telling you, bro, this guy was just trying to go for the easiest route because he wants to be known as the God. And he's not, bro. It's like he really wanted to be the GOAT. He wouldn't be playing kiddie games.
Well, I'll say this. He might not be the greatest of all time for many, but I will say this. I think he is the greatest of all time in longevity and production.
Dude,
let's talk about this for a second.
Okay,
let's talk about this.
All right.
LeBron just turned 41 years old in December. For the last season that he played with the Lakers, 25-26 season, at 40 years and 41 years of age, respectively, averaged 20.9 points, 7.2 assists, and 6.1 rebounds across this regular season. Shot 50% from the field, and for his 22nd time an All-Star game nom. nomination at 40 years old. So I don't know when people say he's not, he's not Jordan, he's not this. They have a point. He's not, but he's definitely his own. He's definitely his own machine, and this man, I don't know how he does it. The longevity. I mean, I know what you hear. He spends like $1 million plus a year on just his maintenance of his body, but props to him for being able to be this productive at this age. I'll give him that. And I think he can make a difference for the Philadelphia 76ers. Look what he already has. I mean, yeah, you can argue it's like another super team, but when you're looking across the NBA landscape, I think it was probably the most appealing for LeBron James. You've got the new Boston Celtic arriving in and former NBA Finals MVP Jaylen Brown. You have Joel Embiid, who, when healthy, is arguably top 3 center in the league. You've got a rising star in Tyrese Maxey as one of your other guards. I think this is probably LeBron's last and best chance at one more NBA Finals championship. So, and the odds moved very quickly in Vegas. DraftKings had the Sixers at a 20-1 before the news. Now they're sitting at a plus 900 to win the NBA Finals. And that's just kind of the LeBron effect of him moving to a team. But, the NBA season's a long season. We got a long way to go. Anything can happen in between. But I'll be curious to see how this season goes for LeBron and the 76ers.
Okay, just one question, and then I'll just let it go, okay? Everyone brings his longevity, right? Cool, of course, because he's been playing for a long time. He's going to break records, obviously, because he's been there the longest. That's simple mathematics. Do you think he's able to play so long? You think he'll be able to play so long if he didn't have his super team?
I don't know. I mean, it does
Case
help to take
closed!
does help to take the shoulder off.
Case closed! I'm just playing. Good luck, LeBron!
I think he's played if you count the playoffs for LeBron, I think he's played almost 3 or 4 full NBA seasons more with all the playoff appearances. It's something wild. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, man. Is that he made Space Jam too, bro.
Oh man, let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. FIFA World Cup. And while we're talking about historic performances, can we just take a moment to appreciate what this Spanish team just did in the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Because this isn't just another Spain won the World Cup moment. This isn't a historical achievement. Deserves to really be talked about and mentioned about this team. And I don't think they're getting enough flowers for what they've accomplished. Spain only allowed 1 goal. One goal across 7 matches in a tournament that now has an extra round from previous FIFA tournaments, meaning they had to play 1 more match than the previous World Cup champions had to. And they still only let 1 goal in. For context, the previous record for the fewest goals conceded by a World Cup champion, there were 2 teams. Record was shared by 3 legendary teams, France in 98, Italy of 06, and Spain 2010. They all allowed 2 goals in total for those tournaments with 1 less round. So this Spain team broke the record outright. That didn't even tie it, broke it with an extra round. I mean, it's incredible. The goals against rate was approximately 0.14 per game if you average out the total of the 7 games. The previous record for those teams mentioned before was 0.29, so nearly double increase in their goal against rate, which, again, with 1 more extra game, they were literally twice as stingy as the most defensively dominant football champions in World Cup history. And that's something to celebrate. This team really deserve it. And let's talk about who they faced. I mean, it wasn't even like a soft road to the championship. In the final 2 rounds alone, the 2 highest pressure moments of the entire tournament, they beat France 2-0, and in the semifinal and against Argentina 1-0 in the final. France, who came in and having 16 goals in that tournament. That French offense was prolific and it was scary, and Spain shut it down completely. And then against Argentina, the defending world champs, they were They even like surpassed their performance on defense. Look at these stats. It's insane. They controlled the ball 68% of the time. It was total domination. Goal attempts. Argentina didn't even get an attempt. Read this again. Didn't even get an attempt at hitting the ball, at kicking the ball for the goal until well into the overtime. I think it wasn't until the 105th minute. They didn't get a single attempt in all of regulation. It's insane. Insane defense by Spain. I mean, I love sports, and I love to see a team, perform the way that the Spanish team performed, and I love to give props where props is due, because this was really an incredible performance by Spain, and they're probably going to go down as one of the great defensive teams in all of FIFA World Cup history when it's all said and done here. Props to the FIFA World Cup 2026 champions, Spain. You got my respect, and that is my take, guys.
And that has been Mo's Sport Desk. All right, guys. Now it's time for gaming news.
Yes.
All right. So the first topic of gaming news, guys, I have to say is Splatoon Raiders. We actually got a day early access to it. A lot of people were getting this game early. We don't know why. We just did it. And lucky for me, I was the lucky ones who got it a day before. Here's my physical copy. All right, then just a quick review recap. No spoilers here. If you're a fan of Splatoon, this is a great addition. The atmosphere itself seems like such a summer game. You start off.
Just look at those colors. I mean,
no, it is.
I'm feeling summer right here. Yeah.
You're basically going island to island searching for treasure. That's what it is. It may be repetition, however, because of the leveling, the rewards, it's just very addicting. It's such a fun game. And the score's in, guys. Everyone's loving it. So I suggest that if you are a Splatoon fan, you should definitely check this out. This is focused on a one-player game. So you're on your own on this. However, the cool thing too, during your search for amazing treasure on these islands, dangerous islands by my ad, there's going to be some points where things are just going to be really too tough. You could actually call in for help around the world, and you could have up to 3 people join you to defeat whatever boss there is or whatever objective there is, so you could all collect the treasure, which is really cool. But here's what I really got really excited for, and I did not know that this was capable. This game could actually be played in co-op. I'm a big co-op fan.
Yeah, nice.
In Splatoon, in all the Splatoon games, you have a team 4-on-4. This you could actually co-op with three other of your friends, and you guys could just tackle on the whole game together. To me, that is a major bonus. The challenge is there, guys. If you're really into hardcore, they have like the highest difficulties. If you're a casual fan, you could play normally or even put it on easy mode. It's a nice, beautiful reimagine of Salmon Run. Now, if you're not familiar with Salmon Run in the Splatoon games, Mohammed, because I know you never played Splatoon, think of it this way. You're in this isolated area where you have to collect golden eggs. While you're trying to get these golden eggs, you have all these salmon just bum rushing you. It's pretty much survival mode in your time. It gets really hectic. It's the same formula for Raiders, except more expanded. So you're there exploring different islands. You're using a new mech suit. You could upgrade your weapons. You have gadgets now that you could upgrade as well. The customization is insane. So, I mean, if you really want to update, like really be tooth to nails up to the grim of weaponry, it's going to take you a long while.
They definitely increased the customization in this installment, it seems.
Oh, yes. And yes, graphic wise, it looks pretty. It's not hard on the eyes. You do go sub levels in some of the areas, and when you go sub levels, I mean, it could some could be gorgeous, some could just be plain. However, you're really going to be focused on trying to survive, trying to get these treasures chests. Honestly, it's a really fun time. I did not know 7 hours in just goes like that. Um, nowhere near, maybe I am close to completing. I heard the game is actually up to like 10 to 11 hours in completion. However, replayability is humongous in this. So if you pass the game, I know pretty sure you guys want to probably go back, probably help a stranger out, probably collect more. Maybe if you're a completionist, you want to, just complete all the upgrades and get all the
Of
outfits.
course,
That's
there's a
gonna
gamer out there
Oh yeah,
always.
that's gonna take a while. So far, I would recommend this game, especially if you're a Splatoon fan, and if you guys do have Splatoon Raiders, let me know. Then we could just probably get together and splat some stuff out. So recommend then for sure. I'll give it a rating once I finish it. But so far, so good, so much fun. It's a good, nice time waster. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I can't wait to
So
hear the rating of yours when it comes.
yeah, it's been really, really fun. I was like really surprised. So that's my take on my first reaction of Splatoon Raiders. And now, Mo, back to you.
Yeah, let's bounce off that Splatoon news to another big release that just came out. Halo dropped just yesterday, as of this recording, July 23rd. Early access dropped for Xbox and PlayStation users. Unfortunately, a bit of a hiccup here with Xbox. A lot of players were complaining that they're having access issues with their premium edition upgrades, which were the versions allowed for early access. So Microsoft and Halo eventually fixed it, but yeah, just a little bit disheartening to see the release of Halo have a few wrinkles here for Xbox. I didn't see anything really go down with PlayStation, so yeah, that's.
No, I need to know, Mohammed. Did you beat this game already?
I did.
Oh my
I've
god!
already completed Halo. I've completed the campaign and the bonus missions. Actually, these are a few of the screenshots that I took on the console. Just some of my own screenshots. Halo dropped. I played the early access, completed the game, completed the campaign, completed the extra missions. It's a beautiful remake of Halo. It keeps the entire spirit of Halo and its core in this game. The Unreal Engine is just a delight to watch on Halo. Unreal and Halo just go together so beautifully. Ooh. I mean, look at that blood there. I mean,
dude, that is highly impressive. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean, I was just stopping throughout the game and just kind of admiring just the colors, and just the depths of all the graphics here. I mean, it's again a Covenant ship. You can just see the green, the purple. You can see kind of the wind. You can see the lighting. It's just incredible to watch Halo on the Unreal Engine. It was a delight, and the sound was unbelievable. Now, I have a surround sound set up for my video gaming system, I'll admit, but I mean, they really did a great job with the sound. Every grenade, every bullet, every little rubble in the wind you could hear in this game, and it just brings the game to life. It was fantastic sound, fantastic graphics. It runs at a 30 to 60 frame per second rate, depending if you're using the more advanced hardware or not. It was just great. I would have to say I haven't experienced the co-op yet. I can't say that. I can't say anything yet about the co-op experience, but I will say it is cool that you can co-op with everyone from PC to Xbox to PS5 gamers alike.
Oh wow,
that's cool. Great. So yeah.
So I know you're a big Halo fan, Mohammed. How does this compare to the original?
I think moving forward, this is the definitive edition of Halo that you'll want to be playing, for sure. I mean, this is just a fresh update on the original Halo. I feel like it adds just enough and takes very little away from the original, that this could be a great standalone for Halo moving forward. I mean, this was a great remastered or redone edition. And kudos to them for doing this. This was a great game. The only downside that I feel that's weighing down on this game is the lack of multiplayer. That is a Halo staple. There is no multiplayer. It's just co-op right now and campaign. I think that would have been cool to have remastered a few of the old classic levels from the original Halo and included that with this game. I think that was just a wasted opportunity. I'm hoping that they'll at least maybe down the line add an additional pack with map and multiplayer ability and update. But, here's to hoping. But I would say because of the lack of multiplayer, I would have to give this a 7 out of 8 bits, just shy of perfection. It needs that multiplayer. You can't have Halo without multiplayer. I mean, co-op, I'm glad that's there. It's great. I can't wait to experience it. But without multiplayer, this just feels a tad bit short from greatness, absolute greatness. But nonetheless, an incredible single-player campaign experience. For anyone that's a Halo fan and a lover of the original Halo, I can't help but recommend this game. You guys have to experience all over again with this new facelift, this Unreal Engine facelift.
See, that's a shame because I was going to ask you about the multiplayer because that is a staple of Halo. I remember Halo was the game that actually changed the game in multiplayer in the gaming industry. So whenever people even talked about multiplayer, they always had Halo to be the top tier experience. So hearing that's pretty sad they don't have that. But hopefully later on they'll add it on, add some old maps into it. I know the fans will love it. So
please guys, please give us some multiplayer.
All right, moving on. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, by the time you watch this, San Diego Comic-Con has finished. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be making shorts. You should already seen them by now. If not, go check out our channel. We're going to have shorts of all the cool stuff that's coming out at Comic-Con. I know I'm going to do one for The Legend of Zelda and Hasbro. More trailers. We're going to talk about Resident Evil for sure. So yeah, please go check out our shorts of our coverage of Comic-Con. And you know what? Well, if we actually get up to we'll say 1,000 subscribers, maybe we should go to San Diego Comic-Con next year because they just signed for another couple of years of San Diego up to 2030. So we have time to go. Yeah,
I love it. It's actually San Diego Comic-Con is on my bucket list of things to do for life. So yes, that's a great goal. I'm with you on that one, buddy.
All right, now guys, now for the big cheese. It is Spider-Man! That's right, guys. Before we see the next Spider-Man and review it next week, we're going to be talking about the last trilogy of the Tom Holland trilogy. I call it Tom Holland trilogy because he's pretty much the face of that Spider-Man in the MCU. So, but before we get started, Mohammed, by any chance, did you ever wonder how the MCU was managed to get Spider-Man if Sony Picture has the right to Spider-Man?
Yeah, I never quite understood that. Every time I try, my head hurts. It gets very confusing.
Well, get confused again because I'm going to tell you exactly how that was accomplished. Here's a quick recap how Marvel was able to use Spider-Man in their MCU. In 1998, Wall Street Journal reported Marvel was negotiating a deal for 25 Marvel movies for $25 million. They were selling Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Black Panther, and more. They brought this deal to Sony Pictures. Sony was like, ha 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 ha, no one gives a shit about those characters except Spider-Man. We will give you $10 million for the wall crawler. Also, we'll add a small percentage gross revenue from the shitload of movies we're gonna make. Do we have a deal? Note that this was the era that Marvel sucked in their financing, and they needed to make this deal to keep them afloat. This is how 20th Century Fox was able to get a few characters, and Universal having the rights for the Hulk, which they still have till this day. So after the success of Sam Raimi's Trilogy, Sony got nervous with the third installment. Even doing well in the box office, the fans did not like the film due to so much studio interference. In the following year, the world witnessed max success of a comic book movie in The Dark Knight. Sony, because they never have any freaking original idea, they decided to reboot Spider-Man in a more darker tone. They call it Amazing. After a major disappointment in the box office from Amazing 1 and 2, Sony scrapped the idea of Amazing 3. Meanwhile, Marvel Studios was on fire with the MCU, to the point that DC followed suit. Sony saw another great opportunity. Why not make Sony Spider-Man universe? And trust Mo, they had great ideas, like Aunt May spy movies, and they finally get to do their Sinister Six. Before Sony could get even started, Marvel came bum rushing in, and they were like, "Hold up, wait a minute, I know y'all denied it before, but I got a proposition. Let us produce Spider-Man films for the MCU. We only keep 5% of the revenue, and we can start with a 5-movie deal. What you say?" Sony was like, "Bruh, you're gonna have Spidey in the MCU, and we get to keep 90% of the growth? Y'all mad tripping, but you are making that cheese. We'll make that deal as long as we can still be able to do our Spider-Verse starting with Venom." Marvel, disappointed and cautious that they could no longer use Venom in their MCU, agreed knowing that they were about to make that cheese times 3. And that's how we got little British boy Tom Holland, giving him the title the youngest Spider-Man we've seen on screen. So the first movie with Spider-Man was Captain America Civil War, followed by Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame, and Far From Home. Now Sony and Marvel was riding high with Spider-Man, but when it came to do No Way Home, a new deal had to be made. At this point, Disney had bought Marvel, and Disney, as high as they were, called Sony. "Yo, dog, we've been killing with Spider-Man. From now on, we're doing 50-50 on all calls, and my boy Kevin stays as producer. You hear?" Sony responded, "What the fuck? You're tripping, little mouse. I already had a deal with your boy before your gritty woke-ass bitch came in. No new deal." Sony angrily slams the phone and play the waiting game. Tom Holland, afraid that his faith on the hands of Sony, crying and desperately calls Disney. "Please, Mr. Popeye, don't leave me with Sony. I don't want to end up with Sony. We already lost Keaton to them. Save me. You're my only hope." Disney reached a new deal. According to Variety, Marvel and Disney will receive 25% of the profit. Disney will maintain merchandising rights. Sony will put a quarter of the financing, and Spidey can continue to be part of the MCU. The end.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that's how it happened.
I think I understand now.
So, like we mentioned before, the first Spider-Man film, his first appearance was in Civil War, which I really, really, really had high hopes, and it did not disappoint. I really like how they did Spider-Man in this. Granted, he didn't have a major part in it. He was just part of Tony Stark's team, but he was to me, he was almost an MVP player in that movie. This actually made me excited to watch young little Tom Holland in his first MCU feature film. And that feature film is, as you know, is Spider-Man Homecoming. So this takes place soon after Civil War. And look, I know all of you've seen it, so I'm not going to go too much details in the storytelling of this movie, but I do want to go to some of the little things that a lot of people really don't know unless they're a big Spider-Man fan.
So Easter eggs?
Yeah, pretty much. They wanted to do some sort of like Breakfast Club type deal with this first movie using the Spider-Man lore. You know, you kind of tell like who is who, right? But it was a couple of decisions that I would change, but let's go down the list. So these right here, Mohammed, are the new teen casting. These are they appear in the comics as well in this film. Liz Allen, who actually was Peter's girlfriend for a time in the comics,
Once upon a time.
actually, yeah, she actually makes her second movie appearance. Then we have Flash Thompson, which, look, no against Tony. I think he's a fantastic actor. I've seen him in another project. It was awesome. I just did not like his Flash Thompson in this particular movie. And I say this particular movie because later on I started liking his character. But this one, I think it was just like, this type of bullying was kind of weird and it was just obnoxious.
Yeah, when I think of Flash Thompson, I kind of think of a big, brawny, kind of really built, like athletic guy. Didn't really get the sense from Tony here, who plays Flash. I kind of got, I don't know, almost like a nerdy kind of bully. I don't even know how to what would you say?
No, you're right. He was
right.
like he was brains
He was
as
kind of like
well as.
nerdy and awkward. When that's not Flash. Flash is the popular dude. Like everyone wants to be with Flash. Friends, girls. Like, yeah, just an interesting take on Flash. Not my favorite. Not my
And
favorite, but he does grow on you.
yeah, he does. And then we got Betty Brant, which in the comics works for JJ, but in this movie in the MCU, she's a student. So I did like to see that take. It was pretty cool. She was actually an anchor for the school news with this guy, Jason, who's also a character in the comics. Jason Seymour, and I put Bluebird because she actually becomes Bluebird later in the comics, Sarah. They're actually all best friends with Flash. So it kind of makes sense that they're in this movie. However, in the movie, they're not friends with Flash. Flash is kind of like a loner. But I'll tell you, George, who played Jason, every time he's on screen, though, he makes me laugh. I don't know. He has like a good comedic timing on this movie as well as the follow-ups. He was just fun to watch. Too bad because he only had like one scene really.
Yeah.
Yeah. JJ Tora Seymour, who plays Seymour, he was only there in the group. He didn't have any lines really, but it was nice to see that he was part of this group as well as Isabella's Bluebird or Sarah. So funny, in the comic books, Sarah, she gets lucky in stopping a villain or a bad guy. Right. And then people started, giving her attention and she was just like loving the attention. So she decides like, oh, you know what? I'm going to fight criminals. So she made herself a costume, called herself Bluebird. And she found out that Peter Parker was the guy who was taking pictures of Spider-Man. So she kind of wanted to blackmail Peter in taking pictures of her doing heroic things, even though she wasn't doing heroic things. And then she kind of got bored and she was like, you know what? I guess the money is where just taking pictures. Right. So in one incident, she goes off as a photographer, told her friend to drive to try and take a picture of this crime happening. And then car gets out of control, crashes, and she passes away. And that was the end of Sarah in the comics. She's one of those characters that never ever came back. So there you go. And because this is the MCU mode, we do have MCU characters making their cameos here in Homecoming. And these are them. We got Tony Stark. Of course, he plays a big role, right, in this film because he's still teaching this 15-year-old boy how to become a superhero. And then we have John Farrow, who's happy, who is pretty much the babysitter of this 15-year-old boy, which is
Basically sums it up.
yeah, but he does a terrible job on it, like 100%. It's a bad babysitter. We got Marissa Tomei and May Parker. She makes her return. Obviously, you first see her in Civil War, and now you see her here. And then you have Martin Starr, who plays Mr. Roger Harrington, and that believe it or not, he made his first appearance back in the Incredible Hulk. So if he goes back to Incredible Hulk, you see him interact with Bruce Banner. He's the student, the college student who's eating a pizza. So that was his first appearance.
Nice.
I'm glad that they brought him back. First of all, I like the actor. I think he's hilarious. Second, it's really cool to finally know that he's Mr. Harrington. In the comics, he's actually a principal. So he's pretty much a colleague with Peter Parker because at this time, Peter Parker is a science teacher. And unfortunately, he does get killed by a supervillain. So, but it's really cool to see him as a teacher here. maybe later on we might see him down the road somehow as a principal. But it's really cool to see him. We have Chris Evans as Captain America. As you guys know, he's he's doing those health tapes or moral tapes. I don't know what you call them. And then you have Gwyneth Paltrow coming back as Pepper Potts at the very end of the film, which is funny because she has no recollection. She has no recollection that she was actually in this film. Every time they ask her, it's like, remember you were in the Spider-Man film? She's like, no, I was never in the Spider-Man film. But I will say this, she never had a scene with Tom Holland in it, so maybe that's why she didn't know.
How do you forget that you're in a movie?
Yes, I know. But I don't know. To her, it's like another Sunday. Maybe it's like, I'll just give me my lines. I'll say my lines, and
I guess at that point, all the movies just start blurring in for her.
Yes. And then at the very end of the movie, guys, before the whole Gwyneth Paltrow and Tony trying to get Peter to be in the Avengers, there was a big reveal, and I kid you not, Mohammed, they never said her name throughout the movie until the very last moment. And then when she actually said her name, my theater, when I went to go watch it, everyone groaned. Like really badly. And of course, I'm talking about the greatest actress of all time, Zendaya, as MJ Watson. Now, these are screenshots of her of Homecoming, and I don't know what she was trying to act. She just looked like she was high the whole time. And the problem I had with her too, she had such a stalkery vibe towards Peter Parker throughout the whole movie, and it was just so weird. And she kind of threw me off. It's like, this is not our MJ. She should have been a different, complete new character. I wouldn't mind that, but the fact that she's MJ, I just knew that we're gonna have her for the next two movies, and
I would just say that's like the quintessential Gen Z stare. Zendaya embodies it here, 100%.
So annoying, I swear. So there is another student, but in the film that I haven't covered, he plays Peter's friend, but I'm going to put him in the category of villains just because there's a lot of villains in this film, and he actually plays one of them. And of course, I'm talking about Peter's best friend, Ned Leeds. He actually is the Hobgoblin in the comics and in all media pretty much. So in the MCU, he's Peter's best friend. I still could see him be the Hobgoblin later on, especially since he lost a lot of weight, man. Another villain in this film is Danny Glover, who plays Aaron Davis. If you guys don't know who Aaron Davis is, he's the Prowler. And he actually does mention Miles by saying that he has a little cousin that he's looking after for. That's Miles Morales that he's talking about. We haven't seen Miles here, but we know for a fact that now we do have a Miles Morales in this MCU, and Aaron Davis is a Prowler. You do see Aaron Davis in the Prowler suit in Spider-Man Across the Universe as a cameo. So who knows? I would love to see him back. I love watching Danny Glover perform. He's a great performer. Absolutely. I love his acting. Yeah. And then we got two shockers in this film. Why two? I have no idea. But I love the fact
more is
like
better.
Yeah. I do like the fact that Shocker was in this. I just did not understand why they couldn't do two gauntlets. He only has the one gauntlet. And then there's behind the scenes where Logan Marshall Green, he had like the full mask, and he actually did have the two gauntlets. You know, he looked like more original Shocker. And all those super awesome gadgets is made by Tinker, which is, I never thought we would actually see him in a Spider-Man movie. Maybe Fantastic Four, but never in a Spidey movie. And you know what? To tell you the truth, he did a great job. I mean, I had no complaints with him. He was actually entertaining to watch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good addition.
Yes. And I was actually excited for this villain showing up. It's a very small role. Matt Garden as the Scorpion. I'm glad that he is going to reprise his role next, and I'm get to see him in action next week. I'm really excited. Oh man, I first saw him.
Trailer.
Yeah. Oh. And in this movie, when I first saw him, because he wasn't, they kept him under wraps. I didn't know he was in the movie until I actually saw the movie. And then I saw his little tattoo, and I'm like, please, is that Garden? Is that Mac? Call him Mac. They call him Mac. I was like, hell yeah. Scorpion's in this. So I'm really excited. Look, I like Tom Holland Spider-Man, but I'm not like a major fan, right? So usually the reason I get excited watching his movies is because of all the villains. It became like a Batman to me now, where you have your Batmans, right? But my ass is going to the theater because I want to see the villain. You
Right.
know, I want to see Jack Nicholson as the Joker. I want to see Jim Carrey as the Riddler. I want to see Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, even though that movie was completely stupid. You know, I wanted to see Scarecrow. Dude, we could go on and on. So Spider-Man to me now has become that. Like, I want to see the villains. I want to see, and the next villain, the main villain of this movie, was just so perfect, so perfect.
Yeah, Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
As the Vulture. Holy cow. I really, really enjoyed this. His performance. I really enjoy his reasoning. And you know what? Watching Homecoming again, it made me realize how much I missed the writing. The writing of these movies were so good. The way they connect to the broad of the MCU, and it makes sense. Honestly, this movie I really enjoy. The only parts I didn't enjoy really was the high school stuff. You know, I really enjoyed the high school. And then, of course, we get this famous scene from an amazing comic book, the final chapter of the Amazing Spider-Man. Kevin Feige added this scene in the movie because he wanted to see this in live action. To me, I'm like, this seems forced, but I'll allow it. I'll take it, I guess. In the comics, it was really cool. Aunt May's dying. He went to get the cure. He only has a certain amount of time to get the cure to Aunt May, so he's swinging about, but holy behold, Doc Ock stop him in his tracks, tries to kill him, bury him in this factory. Thus, you get this scene right here where he has like tons of metal above him. He had no choice but use everything that he got to lift that sucker up to go save his Aunt May. It was such a powerful scene. Thank you, Stanley. I think you wrote this issue, actually.
Yeah, and
really awesome.
It really displayed how strong Spider-Man true potential is and strength,
and his termination of it too, dude.
And
I totally so Homecoming, I will probably give Homecoming, let's say I'll give it a 6.5 out of 8 bits. I think that's a fair assessment. What about you, man? What do you think of Homecoming?
I think I'm right around where you're at there. Yeah.
All right then. Awesome. And then after Homecoming, you had Infinity War and then Endgame, and then 5 years later, supposedly, we have our next sequel.
Euro Trip. Oh wait, wrong movie.
That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was.
By the way, I love the movie Euro Trip.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie. All right. So once again, you guys probably seen this movie. It's really, it was really popular when it came out. So let's dive into the nerdy stuff. Let's see the return of the team castings. There was a little bit changes. A lot of them didn't return, unfortunately, but we got a new character. But first, we'll continue on. So Zendaya does come back as MJ Watson. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what happened within those 5 years of the blimp. Did Peter just come back obsessed with MJ? Because out of nowhere, he's just obsessed with MJ now. Like, he loves MJ. There was no build-up. There was no crush or anything like that. It's like, what the hell happened?
Hey,
it's
bro,
like,
when you get flicked into oblivion, man, you start getting your priorities in order. You probably had some time to think about that.
I guess. I guess.
He's like, I should have made a move. This whole time I should have made a move. And now I'm just gone.
So she's back. She's less annoying than the first one. Then we have
Did she get flicked away too, by the way?
Yes, Ned and MJ got flicked away.
Everyone got
flicked away. Everyone got flicked away.
Everyone got flicked away. Okay.
Yeah, except for Remy
Flash?
High. No, Remy High. Remy High didn't get flipped away.
Okay.
And they kind of, Zendaya's back. Jacob's back as Ned, and he has a love interest with Betty Brant, which I thought it was like, all right, go Ned. You can't go wrong with Betty Brant in any version.
She is, she's legend.
Yeah. And then we got George, once again, has a little scene, a little cameo this time around. Still made me laugh. And then we got Flash. This time, Flash, like I said, I like his performance this time around. And then we got not a new student, but we got a new teen cast in Brad Davis. So Brad Davis in the MCU was a kid. He didn't get blimp. So 5 years later, he's actually grown up. Now he's in the same age as everyone else. And he's the one who actually wants to go out with MJ. Now, Brad Davis is actually a character in the comics. And he was actually a college student who actually was dating MJ, the college student. So he is a comic book character. I kind of like this character. Like he was really trying to get with MJ, but that didn't happen because for some certain reason, MJ loves Peter, but Peter also loves MJ. It's like there was, I don't know.
Destiny. It's destiny.
Destiny my ass, bro. And being an MCU, here are more MCU characters making their appearance on the second sequel of Spider-Man movie. So JB Smoove, he's coming back from the first one. He plays the science teacher, and I found him really hilarious.
Yeah, he was definitely brought an element of comedy much needed for the film.
I love that. Yes. We got Samuel L. Jackson coming back as Nick Fury. Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill. And then we got Peter, who plays William Riva. If you guys don't know who this guy is, go watch the very first Iron Man. He's the guy who gets screamed by Sebediah Stane saying like, Tony Stark did this with a bunch of scraps in a cave. That was the nerd. That was the scientist who was being yelled at. He actually comes back in this movie. It makes sense. Once again, they're playing with the MCU, which as long as it's coherent and it makes sense, I'm up for it.
All for it.
This was great. We got Ben and Sharon as Talos and Soren, and they are scrolls. They were scrolling. I'll say scrolling, but pretty much they were pretending to be like Nick Fury and Maria Hill. They're from Captain Marvel. They come to this movie, and this was supposed to lead to Secret Invasion, which nobody saw. I don't blame you guys. I didn't see it either. So there you go. But like I said, I'm excited for villains in the Spider-Man mythos. So believe it or not, we have a significant amount of villains. We have this guy. I don't know if you remember this guy, Mr. Mohammed.
Oh yeah,
Dimitri?
Chameleon.
Yeah, we have the Chameleon in this movie. Pretty much, if you guys don't remember, he's actually working with Nick Fury and Hill. And this is why I kind of knew there was something off with Nick Fury, because Nick Fury should have known that this guy is not to be trusted at all. Nope. But yet again, there Wrong he crowd. Is. Yeah. And then we have the 4 elementals. The sad thing is they were fake. However, they are based on Spider-Man villains like Molten Man, Hydro Man, Cyclone, and Sandman, right? So seeing them, I'm guessing like, okay, this is the MCU version of these characters. I guess I'll take it. We finally get to see Hydro Man in a film, and he looked awesome. I enjoy Molten Man. Sandman we already seen before, so I'm not like tripping. Cyclone, I'm like, all right, you guys are reaching. Cyclone's such an old villain. But okay, I'll allow it. The reason I got my butt to go see this movie is actually Jake Gyllenhaal as
Mysterio.
It was so cool to see Mysterio.
We're waiting for that one, I feel like. That was yeah.
And because you always wonder how they're going to pull this off. Is he going to wear the dome? If he is going to wear the dome, how they're going to pull that off so he doesn't look ridiculous? I mean, I love everything about this character in the MCU as well in the comics, but especially in the MCU, because I thought it was a smart way of doing it. First of all,
very clever.
Yeah, because in the comics and cartoons, he was a special effect artist. That's how he's able to do these illusions. So how would you do that in movie form, especially this day and age? Simple. Drones, illusions, projections, not really being there. It's just like, oh, that's clever. And the cool thing is like, he's not doing it himself. He has a whole team being Mysterio. Dude, man.
Genius.
This is what I'm telling you, dude. I miss this type of writing, bro. I miss this type of writing where things could actually make sense. You understand why he wanted revenge. You understand why all these people wanted to get even. They weren't fans of Tony Stark. Right. But that was the problem with these Spider-Man films, because so far it's like they're not really Spider-Man villains. They're more of the MCU villains.
Yeah, they definitely added their MCU twist to these villains, not straight up like outright Spidey backstories, you know? They definitely kind of played with their origins and their motivations, but I think overall for what they're going with, I think they did a great job with these two. Really pleased with Mysterio's character, his costume design. They nailed it.
Oh yeah, they nailed it. And I kind of like when he's not in illusion form costume. It's just
Right.
like a special effect tights.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's so cool, man. And that fight scene where Peter goes into this warehouse and then Mysterio's just messing with his head.
Yeah.
So
Great.
So well done. So well done.
Classic Mysterio.
Oh yeah. And
now,
then
before we move on, now I gotta ask you. You look like you enjoyed both the Vulture and Mysterio. Which one did you like more?
Oh, damn. Oh, that's hard.
Vulture or Mysterio? I think you're leaning Vulture, but I think you love them both.
I do love them both, and I'm leaning towards Vulture. That's why it kind of sucks that he's no longer part of the MCU. If you guys don't know, for the 5 of you who went to go see Morbius, the end credit scenes had the Vulture appear in his universe. This happened because of the whole spell that Doctor Strange did in the next movie, which we're going to talk about now, Spider-Man No Way Home. So this was, I'll just say this, it was kind of a mess how they did this movie. However, it made a lot of money. I know I went there. Everyone went there. It made a ton of money because it was more
a trip down nostalgia lane.
Thank you. That's all it was. It's like we heard that Toby and Andrew may come, but there was never like a definite answer. But we're like, nah, they're gonna be there.
They were just kind of dangling it. Yeah.
Oh, so let's talk about the returning teen characters of this film. And once again, we have Zendaya returning as MJ. We got Ned coming back. We got Betty Brant and Jason and Flash Thompson. So Betty Brant, now she's a journalist, no longer behind the desk. And then we have George, who also, once again, makes a small little cameo, little scene. Will still
made you laugh and dipped.
Made me laugh. Yeah, dude. He did what he was paid to do. And then Flash Thompson, I think he only has like a couple of scenes. Not a lot with these teen characters except for MJ and Ned. And then because like I said, this is the MCU. These are the MCU characters that we got in this film. We got the return of J.K. Simmons as J.J. Jamison.
My boy.
My boy. We get Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. This one, I yelled at the theaters. I'm a big Daredevil fan. I did not see this coming.
I know. That was such a pleasant surprise.
Oh my God. I
love this cameo.
I love
the best cameo. Yeah, the best cameo in the Spider-Man movies by far, I think, for me.
Oh,
that was a great one.
We got Asian Foster, Gary Weeks. So you guys probably don't know who this guy is. He's in the MCU. Yes. In fact, if you go back to Homecoming, he actually plays an agent right in the beginning of the movie. He's the one who told Michael Keaton not to extend himself too much and get socked in the face. Of course, you have Doctor Strange. You got Coach Wilson coming back. Last time we saw him was in Homecoming, so now he's back in this one. And then, of course, if you have Doctor Strange, you got Wong. Right? Wong makes a little cameo. So why is this movie so successful? Well, here's the thing. Like I said, villains. What villains do we get in this? We get past villains that we have seen, that we have known, and we want to see them again. So we'll start with the weakest link of the villains, and that would be the Lizard. Ephron comes back as Kirk Connors, but only in voice only, because throughout the whole movie, he's just in lizard form. Even at the end, where supposedly he's returning back to normal, they just use the Amazing Spider-Man clip, that same clip, as him returning back to normal. No,
they didn't. Are you serious? They just used recycled material. Oh, recycled material.
And you know what? He's not the only one who got recycled material treatment. Our next guy got a recycled treatment too, which is Thomas Hayden Church, so Marco as Sandman. So if you see that movie again, they just recycled the same clip, Sam Raimi, Spider-Man 3, and he just provided the voice for the new dialogue. He just provided the new voice as the new dialogue, which sucks because especially Sandman, I was a big fan of Sandman. I still am a big fan of Sandman. I like Thomas Hayden Church as Sandman. Thought that was perfect casting. Then we have the big three. So here are the big three. The first one is Electro, Matt Dillon. Now, Jamie Foxx returning as Matt Dillon as Electro in this movie, that's how Electro should be. I love him taking this character again, but this time nailing it, like knocking it out of the park. He was such a great Max Dillon. I wanted to see more. I really wanted him to have like his freaking only villain movie. Him versus the Spider-Man. He was amazing. He was fun to watch.
Man, dude had me cracking up.
Yeah, he was hilarious as well. I love this version.
This Max Dillon came with the swag. I don't know where he was in Amazing Spider-Man 2, but he came back and was killing it.
And then you have my favorite character of all time returning, Doc Ock. So they de-aged him in this film, which kind of made him look weird. Not too weird, but I felt
there was definitely something off about him.
It's his eyebrows. If you look back, his eyebrows is really bushy. Like it's really thick. I'm like, I don't remember him having thick eyebrows like that, man. And then the next villain, which is everybody's favorite, hands down, everybody went to go see this movie because of William Dafoe, Norman Osborn, the Green Goblin. Bro,
another unbelievable performance by Dafoe. I mean, he carried the film. He's still a badass. Still.
And it comes to show you how powerful this version of the Green Goblin is. That hallway fight when Tom Holland is just nailing him with all his strength, and he just comes out laughing.
Oh, that was a Joker moment there, man.
Oh my God. Dude, he's peak Norman Osborn.
That is peak Norman Osborn.
That's peak Norman Osborn. I cannot picture anybody outperforming William Dafoe, Green Goblin. I love the fact that they got rid of that helmet mask and this is just his face. I always said his face already looks like a goblin. You don't need the mask, you know? It's like you don't need the mask. I love how they interpret the hoodie, right? Because supposedly he was homeless and now just messed up. And then we had one more villain. I don't know if you know this, Mohammed. Our last villain, our Sinister Six, was actually Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, Venom.
I think that was at the end credits, right?
Yes, that was the end credits. And they asked, well, why he didn't join the fight? Their excuse is because Venom would have outshined Spider-Man and everyone else. That was their excuse, right? That's why he wasn't there. My thing is Marvel and Sony, they had a agreement. If Sony used a character, the MCU can't use it. Okay. So Venom was already a Sony. They made a movie out of him, so the MCU can't use him. Morbius, Sony, MCU can't use it. Craven, Sony, MCU can use it. This is why Vulture, MCU, found a loophole, got transported to Sony Universe. That's how
many loopholes. Too many loopholes.
And that's how it works. I believe now, if you remember that end credit scenes, there was a piece of Venom that was left behind. I don't think they're gonna leave that open. I think we're gonna see that symbiote get into Peter. If by the end of the next movie, if not, for sure somehow in Secret Wars, because I believe
you're calling it, huh?
I'm calling it. I believe in Secret Wars, Peter's gonna have the black suit. So I'm calling it right now.
That could be really cool.
No, it could
be really bad.
Cool. Sony wanted to do a multiverse live action, and this is the reason why this movie made so much money, is because of those two back there, Toby and Andrew coming back as the Spider-Man. It was fun. It was great. If you saw this in theaters, I'm pretty sure the reaction was really loud, especially for Andrew, and higher even for Toby.
People erupted when Toby popped out. It was crazy. Magical theater moment for sure.
Oh yeah, it was fun watching these three together. I'm not hating on Tom, but I really enjoyed just the chemistry between Andrew and Toby when they were
bouncing off each other very well.
Yes.
And I didn't see that coming at all, actually.
Me neither. And that was so sweet. That was just like, if you're a fan of Spider-Man, this was like the moment where like, dude, you just want to capture it. Is like, don't let this end. Their performance were great. Andrew seemed more loose. He seemed more loose now. He felt more of like a Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I like Toby take on it now. You could tell like he's been Spider-Man for years now.
He's a matured and aged, worn Spidey now. Yeah.
Yes. And
he's got a few pearls of wisdom. You could tell this is like the mature Spidey. Fully developed. This is Spider-Man. The responsibility is greater than anything else for him at this point. That's the Spider-Man. Yeah.
I love the return of those outfits, man.
Oh yeah. I think we can all safely say and agree that Toby's spider suit is the best and still is.
Now, don't get me wrong. You see the black and red that Tom's wearing? I love that suit. That has to be my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man suit. Actually, this is gonna be my close second. The one that I really like is the one that's coming out next week in a Brand New Day. That Spider-Man suit looked like John Romita's Spider-Man. And that was like, oh man, that looks so beautiful.
Classic take,
classic. So this movie, when I first saw it, of course, nostalgia hit me. It was really fun. I enjoyed it. There was some great moments in this movie. I really loved it. So back then I was like, this movie was high praise for me. Now rewatching it, that's all it was nostalgia, right? You still have those great moments with those characters that we grew up with, right? However, this movie makes no fucking sense.
After you peeled back the nostalgia, you realize, what the hell were they doing here?
Yeah, when I was rewatching it again, so I could talk about it, I'm like, how the hell did we think this was on? Like I said, it was because of the nostalgia, seeing our old villains and heroes again. It just completely blinded us to the horrible story writing that this thing had. For example, the spell was completely nonsense. It was really stupid. It made no sense. The fact that Doctor Strange said that everyone who knew who Peter was is now came through the portal. That was his thing. But then you have Tom Hardy, Venom, never met Peter, doesn't even have a Peter in his freaking universe, or a Parker. And we have Electro, who doesn't know who Peter Parker is at all. And then he says like, oh, they came through the portal in the moment that they were about to die. Right? So how does that explain, once again, Tom Hardy, because that fool wasn't going to die. And then how do you explain the lizard? The lizard didn't die. So once again, this movie wasn't really making sense at all. Spell doesn't work. The rules of it did not work, and then, okay, well, we're going to cure them and then send them back to the moment that they're about to die. So if they're cured and you send them back when they're about to die, now they don't have superpowers to actually try to save themselves. They die horrible deaths as human beings. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, it definitely felt very pieced together. Like, let's just slap a little time and multi-universe with a little magic and sorcery with Doctor Strange and find a way to get these villains and these Spider-Mans into this movie. I don't think it was really thoughtfully thought out of. Obviously, I mean, we can just kind of peel apart a lot of the story and writing, whereas quite questionable.
Anywho, nostalgia was good at this movie.
Nate, nostalgia, top tier
nostalgia.
Writing, maybe not so much.
Yes.
Either way that you look at it, even though the writing was pretty flimsy, I can't still help but feel like I enjoyed my time with this film.
No, I did too, and I did too. And that will be it, guys, for this trilogy of Spider-Man.
Before we go,
yes,
favorite movie out of the trilogy?
Oh, of these three?
Of the Tom Hollands, yeah.
Okay. Easily. It will be, people are going to hate it. It will have to be Far From Home. I think it's because of Mysterio. The reason Mysterio's in it and he kept me entertained throughout the whole time, that's the only reason. I could say No Way Home, but that's just because of nostalgia. If you get rid of the nostalgia thing, it's just like, it's a nothing movie. Right?
Fair enough. Yeah, I would say, that movie with Mysterio, No Way Home, or sorry, Far From Home. Or now I'm getting confused.
No, you're right. Yeah, I don't know why they want to do the Home series.
But no, I would say that movie definitely has the strongest writing, I would say, from all three. The way they featured Mysterio into the story, his motives, and yeah, I just thought that was probably the best out of the Holland films for sure.
Yeah. The weakest part is Homecoming. I would have put Homecoming there, but the weakest part was two things. One, like I said, I didn't like nothing that has to deal with the kids. You know, like I said, they try and make it into a Breakfast Club type of thing. I didn't fall for it. And I was like, whatever. You know, MJ was just like there stalking Peter. She was just there. There was no purpose to her or nothing. Zendaya just wanted work. There you go, Zendaya. What's my line? It's nothing. You're just going to stay in the background, look at people from time to time, especially Peter Parker, because you have to give a hint that you kind of like him, but give out a stocky vibe to it, though. Show your face like you're almost high, but you're not high because you don't do drugs, but pretend you're high. I want that lazy eye look that you give. You know, Muhammad will call it the Gen Z look.
It's the Gen Z stare.
Yeah, the Gen Z stare. You know, so yeah, to me that is the weakest part, because everything else I kind of enjoyed. Like I said, the cast of villains in Homecoming was great. I really enjoy watching all of them bounce off each other, and the reasoning for it too was great.
Honestly, the villains, the main villains in the Tom Holland movies have all been pretty good.
No,
I mean, you've got Vulture, you've got Mysterio, and then obviously you've got some of the returning villains from the other Spideys returning in Tom Holland's last film. But strong characters, strong villains. Michael Keaton and Jake Gyllenhaal, strong villains. They might make a case that they could almost rival up with Sam Raimi's first two villains.
Yes,
there's a case to be made there. Obviously, I'm probably going to lean on Raimi there for Green Goblin and Doc Ock, Alfred Molina and William Dafoe, but you can't dismay what Jake Gyllenhaal and Mike Keaton did for Tom Holland's Spideys. I think they're also excellent choices, excellent villains, and they might be a little underrated now that we're looking back and talking about it.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about like going back and looking at these movies, because now you could time has passed enough that you could actually see them in a different light, in a different angle, get a different take. And it's always fun. If the writing's really good, the movie will still hold up. So, and for the most part, the first two movies, they really did hold up. You know, I was really enjoying my time. The weakest part in Far From Home would be Nick Fury and Agent Hill. That whole story plot was kind of, but that's just because technically that wasn't really them. Technically,
yeah.
So please watch out for our very short Comic-Con news.
Yeah, we'll be updating. We'll be updating as we find out.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't checked them out, go ahead, check them out. Check in our page. It should be in our page by now. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification. You can follow us here on YouTube, as well on Instagram, and as well as Rumble. And I am Rob and Mo.
It was a pleasure, guys.
It was a pleasure. It was good. See you next. Well, I'll see you mañana.
Can't wait for Spidey.